Doma Sports Talk worldwide with some news from the world of boxing. So y'all know what time it is. You ain't in a rush to get concussed. Now, some pretty big news. All right, pretty big news. I don't know if it's good or bad. Y'all decide. A couple of fighters that we know and love, we like at least, bring something to the table. Exciting fighters, high-profile fighters. Both of them from the big state of Texas, right? One from Houston, one from Dallas. So let's see what's up. Supposed to be partners, pretty close. You get a hint? Nah, he's seen it in the damn thumbnail. Don't even try it. Anyway, bottom line is this. Your boy Jermell Charlo, right? Undisputed 154-pound champion. Handled his business. He only lost one fight, I think it was, before going up two weight divisions to try to deal with Canelo Alvarez. And against Canelo Alvarez, gave that lackluster performance. I think it was too big for him. And, a lot of people are probably down on him. He's been out since then, out of the ring. I think that's about 2 years now. So he hasn't done anything up until then. But he's done a lot up until then, right? Well, he hasn't done anything since then. But he's done a lot up until then, right? You don't become undisputed, not 154 pounds, if you ain't handled your business. And Jermell Charlo is an exciting fighter, exciting dude, like him or loathe him, right? Now, what we're thinking, we might have a comeback from Errol Spence, is what we're hearing. Errol Spence, unified champion at 147 pounds, what was he? He was the boogeyman for a while. Then he went from the boogeyman to the big fish, and he's a high-profile fighter. Ever since he fought by the Olympics when 6 million people were watching, he fought after that. Ever since then, he's been high-profile, and he's been delivering good fights. He beat a lot of people in that welterweight division, a lot of significant people. Everybody don't beat Sean Porter and Danny Garcia, my boy. Everybody don't beat them. He beat Ugas as well. And a lot of people, I think he beat Peterson and stuff like that. He beat everybody except for Terrence Crawford. So he's been out since losing dramatically to Terrence Crawford. So these two guys, coming back after a couple of years could be a significant fight. Me personally, because they spar together and they're cool, right? I would rather them fight when the stakes are a little bit higher, when there's nobody else. Let's say Errol Spence came back and took care of some people from the 154-pound division. Jermell Charlo come back down, looks good at that weight, coming back down, and starts handling his business again, right? And they beat a couple of guys. And then maybe they fight either for 3 belts or 4 belts, you know what I'm saying? Or at least 2, Right now, the only thing that'd be good about the fight, it would be a high-profile thing in Texas, I think. I think. Both of these guys are big in the world of boxing. Now, Jermell Charlo, I think his comeback is going to be, we're going to be looking at how is he going to look at 154 pounds, after going up and being out a couple of years and being older to get back down to 154 pounds. There's a big question mark there for him. As far as Errol Spence goes, you can look at it a couple of ways. I mean, he's finally had time to heal, and he don't have to go down to 147 pounds. He's going up to 154 pounds, and he's had time to heal, get himself mentally ready to fight. Or you can also look at it like after that devastating loss, is he the same? Does he have the hunger for boxing? Does he want to come back at all? And how is he going to look at 154 pounds going up? Now, me personally, remember, I like both of these guys. But when Errol Spence was going to fight Terrence Crawford, I was team Crawford all day, right? Telling you why. Because, similar to what Roy Jones says about Crawford. He can beat you in so many different ways. Errol Spence, is a come-forward fighter, right? High punch output, volume, body attack, but he's a front foot guy. And I always said when he goes up in weight, it might not be like Terrence Crawford, because when you're not able to push people around and you're not the bigger fighter, how is he going to fare when you ain't pushing people around and you might have to even get on that back foot? I didn't know to have the answers to that yet. So when you get up to 154, I'm not sure how many people you're pushing back. and fighting that style. So, and Errol Spence hasn't had to change his style yet, right? So that's what my question was, and still is. But I'm just asking y'all, Errol Spence versus Jermell Charlo is rumored to be coming soon, right? What you guys think? I'm on the fence with this one. It would be a good fight. It's a fight where I like both of them. You know what I'm saying? And the Charlo brothers. It's a lot of history they got. One of them. Without him, we wouldn't have had the Charlo belt, that franchise title, and Jermell handled his business. And now and I think that the Charlo brothers. You have twin brothers, right, from Texas, weren't able to get huge fights with the Latino fighters in Texas. You know what I mean? And just not big. I think those guys, they're big enough. And it ain't like they got money issues or nothing, but I think they would have been huge if they were anywhere else. I used to call them double trouble. Y'all remember that? Doom, 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 double trouble. Doom, 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 double trouble. Hey, they're coming for you. Doom, doom, that's what they gonna do. Doom, doom, they're coming with two. Doom, so they don't need a crew. Doom, 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 double trouble. Doom, 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 double trouble. Hey. I'm rolling with double trouble, man. Look, man, it's like the Klitschko's running stuff. These guys, champions, one family, talk a lot of smack. It's, black dudes who you gonna either hate or like. You know what I'm saying? There's no reason that they're not weren't huge in New Russia. And if you looking at Jermell being undisputed, a lot of times he wasn't even in the pound for pound. So, I'm rolling with them. You know what I'm saying? Whatever, man. Whatever. Those guys should have been bigger. And when it comes to Errol Spence, what's not to love? Errol Spence is Errol Spence. Just when it was against Crawford, then I'm going for Crawford. But Errol Spence, you got love for Errol Spence, period. Right? So these are, some cool dudes. So let's just see what happens. You guys let me know what you think. Should they fight? Should they not fight? Are you hyped about the fight if they happen? Who you got in the fight? Those kind of things. Y'all holla. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm on the fence with this one. If it happens, cool. Like I say, I would rather them come back and fight other people, and, get a couple of fights under their belt and then fight. But, hey, man, these guys up 35 and up now. So, maybe it's for them to make it happen. You see, I'm just going back and forth with this one. So y'all got to answer this one. Dome Sports Talk Worldwide. And I'm out of here, y'all.